Gentlemen, we're talking about people vanishing.
Vanishing?
Yeah.
Disturbing, to be honest, the amount of people that vanish. I read a good book by a guy called Nigel West. He's written this. This is basically an almanac. It's a very powerful book. But I do warn you, this is a neuro-linguistic program.
So what's that for the viewers?
Which is designed to embed seeds in your mind, which will undo what you've been indoctrinated with at school. The history most people have been told is indoctrination. It's lies. You've got to find out the truth. And when you do, it changes perspective on things. So this is a very good reference book.
Yeah.
On hundreds of different subjects.
So where's that available?
Well, you can get, the best place to get this is just go to your library and ask for a book called The Wicker Files by Nigel West. And you don't even have to pay for it, ladies and gentlemen. Just go to your library and get it for free.
Right.
But be warned, it is a neuro-linguistic program, and reading it, it's designed to elicit a response. Some people I've read some of the reports, and they can't even get past the book cover. Think about that for a second. They can't even open the cover of the book because they're disturbed by what they've read or seen on the cover in some way, shape or form.
On that cover.
People are basically mental, aren't they? You know?
Yeah.
But intelligent people read it and they leave really good comments, you know, like, that's just blown my mind and things like that. You know, I've checked out your information and it's absolutely right. Because I have checked this book out because, you know, I don't just take things on face value. I have to find out for myself.
Yeah.
But this book will lead you to where you can find out that information.
Yeah.
It's a full package. It's like, you know, I call it an almanac, but just very good.
Yeah.
But the vanishing, he talks about vanishing in there, and I'm going to refer to it just for the numbers because they're staggering. And if you're talking just children alone, there's thousands and thousands of children vanish without a trace every year. That you got to let that sink in.
Yeah.
And then when I tell you some of the numbers of the amount of children, just in a few different places around this strange world we live in. Okay. It's estimated that in Australia, right, 25,000 people are reported missing every year. That's people, not just children. Okay. 25,000, where they're going, vanish without a trace. There's no sign of them. They're just there 1 minute, they're gone the next, like someone's turned off a light switch and they're just gone, vanished. And then nothing's ever found of them.
Yeah.
Now that's disturbing.
Yeah, very.
For a start. In Canada, there were 45,609 missing children. Okay, that was in 2016. And this is consistent. This is happening every year, and the numbers are getting bigger and bigger. In Brazil, 40,000 estimated vanished children. Vanishing. Missing children reports every year in India. Right, listen to this number. In India, the amount of children that go missing, on average, and this is probably, you know, conservative, it's 96,000 children. Simply vanish without a trace. There's not a shoe, nothing found of them. That just seems unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay. Germany, 60,000 kids missing. This is 2016 results. Russia, 45,000 children. Spain, 20,000. Every year this is reported.
Yeah.
You know, this is like, goes back to 2010, I think, the statistics from this book are gathered. But it's reported on 2016. The numbers in 2023 double that.
Right, but now. Yeah.
And that's just children. We're not talking, you know.
Disturbing.
adults and teenagers and stuff. That number is 2 million plus a year. Worldwide, that people vanish without a trace. Now, these aren't people who just go missing and then they're found later on dead somewhere. These are people who literally can say goodbye to their wife in the morning, kiss the kids, walk down the steps, and never seen again. Nothing's ever found of them. No struggle, no nothing. It's just like they've just been, turned out of existence. Like they've just been switched off. As if they were an NPC in a video game and the characters just vanished off the screen.
Glitched out.
Yeah. Even though his house is still there and all his gear. But the character itself's just gone. That's just what's happening.
Yeah.
And the amount of children is like utterly staggering. I think it's 46% of everybody who vanishes without a trace. 46% of them are children. Kids.
Crazy.
And that's children from 9 months old, to like 12, 15. Just kids.
Yeah.
All ages vanish. They vanish from back gardens. They vanish out of cars.
Never to be seen.
Parents have turned away for a second and they've turned back and the kid's gone. No kidnapping, nobody. It's just vanished.
Yeah.
Now, this is just bizarre to me.
Yeah.
Because how can you have that many people and not one of them show up?
Ever again.
And that's a conservative estimate, That's just some of the numbers. The United Kingdom, where we live right now, 60,000
people or children.
Missing kids. 60,000 missing children. 117,000 kids and other people. Vanished without a trace.
Yeah.
Now, this report for the British one here, it's saying this is all registered in the National Crime Agency. The UK Missing Persons Data Information Report from 2015 to 2016, 60,045 missing kids. Doctor, what is going on? And it says in 2016, in the year 2016, there were more than 465,000 missing children in the United States. Think about that. Out of all the other numbers I've said, you've got 465,000 children in the United States vanish off the face of the planet. Now, I ask you, what's going on? Because I've got no idea. But it's scary.
Yeah,
it really is scary,
Where are they going?
And it's like the book quotes it quite well. It says, look, this is just a snippet of the problem.
Right.
It's just the icing on this huge cake of vanishing people, which he calls the vanishing system. And he's absolutely right. I mean, we look at these things all the time. Now, we can speculate. I mean, I ask you, what do you think? Where could they possibly be going?
Honestly,
I mean, just sit there and use your imagination for a minute.
I mean, it's not like they're just disappearing.
Well, people are saying that it's aliens, which is
it can be possibly not.
It's utter nonsense,
Yeah.
Establishing whether the aliens are from outer space or not is a problem. Right now for scientists, I can tell you, because scientists are going, no, there's no way they can travel here, and other ones are going, yeah, they can. Which,
I don't believe that, to be honest with you.
Nobody's proving anything. They're just talking a good game,
Predators.
We've got scientists just arguing the facts, and then eventually someone will win the argument, and then it'll be, inbred into the natural teachings of the general population, and they'll brainwash them again into believing another nonsensical fact. But we've got to establish whether they're from outer space first, which I doubt that they are. I think they're from across space. It's another conversation in itself. But they couldn't possibly be taking that many people.
No.
But you'd be seeing UFOs like traffic flying over more than you would to take that amount of people.
That's people. That's a lot of people just daily.
Yeah, I don't think they're being beamed up.
No.
This isn't Star Trek. they're just disappearing
Yeah.
off the face of the earth. Nothing found.
Yeah, which can't be explained.
No, you can find a dead body because it stinks when
Yeah.
it rots. But these people are they're not being killed. There's no proof of them being killed. They're just gone.
Just gone.
Yeah.
Vanished. Which can't be explained. Really.
No, people are doing the normal things. There's like individual stories of people just going to the shop and they never come back. Someone saw them in the shop, walk out with the milk, they paid for it, and then they're just gone. It's like the water in the corner and they walk into a different plane of existence and they vanish out of ours. But these people are just gone. There's no sign of them. There's no sound. There's no nothing. These are people who are vanishing, who've got, really good jobs, really good houses, families, kids.
Yeah. They can't be killing themselves.
No, they're not doing. They're being taken, but nobody can work out what's taking them because they have to be being taken. That amount of people wouldn't go willingly.
No.
No,
not leave their life behind and go for it. And if they've got good jobs, families, and all that, they're not just going to go up and leave.
Exactly.
Got a life. Yeah, it's very unusual.
And the worldwide number every year is 2 million plus. That means it can be anything over 2 million, but it's always over 2 million. And since 2010, when I looked at the statistics and worked out the math, you have to put 2 million plus, the plus sign, because it's you can't count them because some people are just not being reported as missing. You've got that statistics, that being a huge amount of people. Well, people who just don't actually report someone's missing.
Right.
Through fear that they might be looked at like they've murdered them and got rid of them, but they just know that these people have vanished.
Well, what's weird is there's a neighbour, he's gone missing.
Yeah.
And his flat's all there. All is still the same. And I mean, that's been 2 or 3 months he's been missing. Comes back and forth to the flat. It's very unusual.
Yeah.
And
that's one individual who might be, there's people who are mentally ill, but they never vanish.
No.
They go missing for a while, then they're either found dead or curled up, dithering in a corner because they're mad in some way.
You think that's happening then? No.
Or they're mentally ill, or
Yeah.
I'm talking about people who just there's no explanation for it. There's families going, that's just not like you. My son just doesn't vanish. He speaks to me every day. These people are just going into the wilderness and vanishing.
Yeah, it's not like he's been swimming.
16,000 in North America alone last year in the North American national parks. 1,600 people vanished without a trace. They went into the park for a walk and they never came out. Not a trace found of them. Nothing. If you want to read about the missing people, just refer to David Paulides' book 411 Missing People.
Right.
That's all you need to type in. 411 the Missing Series. He's written 10 books on the amount of people that just vanish out of national parks, and they have to fit a specific criteria with him. With me, it's like these are just people who are in a normal life and they're just gone. They don't even come home. No trace can be found of them. And they just go on the missing persons register, and after 7 years, they're taken off because where are these people?
Become a cold case.
It's not like they're ever found again. There's no cases where people have turned up and been found.
Ever?
No. Right. These people are the statistics. People who vanish without a trace. It's called the vanishing system. It's almost the amount of people that are vanishing off what we call out this world. 2 million plus every year worldwide, when you add the numbers up, is a conservative number. Right. That means it's a minimalistic approximation of how many people.
Because there's probably more than 2 million babies born in a year at the same time.
No, this is another myth. This overpopulation myth.
It's nothing to do with that.
It's absolute nonsense. This place is not overpopulated. There's 2 dangerous things at the moment in the scientific world that people are discussing. 2 dangers to humanity. One, which isn't number one of them is AI. Getting out of control. 2 is underpopulation.
Right.
That's the number one biggest threat to the human race right now. And you can look this up, is underpopulation. The world is not producing enough babies. We're literally dying out as a species because we're not breeding enough.
Yeah.
You've got too many. You've just got too many people not wanting to produce offspring, which is your natural thing you should be doing.
They're choosing to change gender. That's a story for another.
Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started on the gender madness.
Yeah,
that's been indoctrinated into people. It's just mental illness. Look, just don't get me started
for another time.
Yeah, but sticking with the people who are vanishing, it's absolutely haunting. The governments know about it. I know the British government know about it. The German do. The French do, because they're all looking into it.
Right.
You can look up these facts. You can talk to them.
What's noticeable, people?
You can get statistics from every fucking town in the fucking country, which is where your census comes in. But we're talking people that haven't walked off and got lost. No. We're talking people who are simply gone.
Gone.
Puff, out of existence.
Yeah.
Children just disappearing, vanishing.
And something must be taken. They must be going somewhere.
Well, I'm not talking about this. There's a vast amount of children that get kidnapped and sold. We're not talking about those children.
Right.
We're talking about children that there is no trace of. Like a child that was playing in the garden at the back.
Yeah.
And all the mother's washing the pots, looking at the kids. She turns her eyes away for a second. She looks back, the child's gone. There's no way he could have even got up
and moved
and walked, because he's too young to waddle. He'd have to crawl.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's come in and picked him up. He's just like a flick of a switch gone. And they're panicking. There's millions of people out looking for him. That's the last you see of it. You get 10 days search if you're lucky, and then sorry. Well, I'll have to put him down as a missing baby.
Yeah.
What? This baby isn't turning up 10 years later in some brothel somewhere. You know, it's just not happening.
Yeah.
You know, these people are just never seen again. And the numbers I'm talking about are just the people who vanish.
Yeah.
No reason or rhyme. They just go out the house. They get out of someone's sight for just a second. They can turn a corner. There's a report of some college kids. They were walking down the street. I can't remember where I read this. It's just like an old memory. And one of the pals is off in front, because he's running off in front to take a photograph. And he runs around the corner of this building where they're going to take the street, because they wanted to get the high towers in the background. And as they come round the corner, they're only 2-3 seconds behind him, literally walking behind him. He disappeared for that second. As I got round the corner, he was gone. Gone.
Like alternative reality.
Well, the street is, we're not talking a packed street. He didn't run off, he didn't hide.
Yeah.
He'd literally gone round the corner, and a second or two after, they came round. They just lost him for a second inside. And he was gone. These are the sort of things I'm talking about, the vanishing system. People just vanish.
Yeah. In a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
You know.
I do have a theory.
Yeah.
But
what is it?
I'm not going to get into that theory.
No.
Maybe another time.
Don't explain it.
Well, you have to explain a lot of other things to make the theory legible, because a lot of people are just not educated enough to
understand it.
Well, not to understand what you're saying. Everybody will be able to understand what I'm saying, but to comprehend it in its entire package,
right?
They're not going to be educated enough, because you have to be educated in a lot of different sciences to understand what I'm talking about. You know, if I just start talking to the general public about magnets and magnetic fields, everybody's got a pretty good idea of what a magnetic field is, because we're all played with magnets.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm talking about. At all. I'm talking about electrified magnetics. There's no metal involved in it. You don't have to pick anything up. You literally have to send a frequency from one place to another. You can create weightlessness. Hundreds of factors, the same thing. I'm just thinking these people are being taken somehow, or they're being switched off, would be more apt, which is the beginning of my theory. Switched off. But that'll be in
Or upgraded.
that'll be in a paper that I'm going to be writing at some point. But this, you want to go to this guy in this book because the stuff in here is like mind blowing. I've checked most of it out.
I'll put a mention.
But the vanishing system is absolutely disturbing
It's
because the
available to
government
buy,
knows.
is it?
Every government knows about it.
Yeah.
And they're all doing. What can they do?
Where's it available
Realistically.
to buy the book? Can you buy the book?
Yeah, well, you can buy the book. You can get it on Amazon.
Amazon, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You can get it in Barnes and Noble. You can get it pretty much anywhere.
right. Cool.
Any bookstore will order you the book.
Just anyone that might be
Just ask
interested
for
in it.
the Wicker Files
I'll put a
by
mention.
Nigel West, who's got a little frog on the front, and it's a bit an almanac. It's got so much information in it. It's unbelievable, really. And I've checked it out. It's really good. But it is a neurolinguistic program. It will upset you.
Trigger
It will trigger you. It's designed to do that. That's what a neurolinguistic program is. That's what programming is. But what this book will do is deprogram you from the indoctrinated beliefs that you've already got.
Yeah.
People are absolutely adamant certain things have happened.
Yeah.
They literally believe it with their heart and soul. And when you tell them the truth, they get upset to the point of anger because they don't like to hear a different version of the truth. God forbid we hear the truth.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the truth will out.
Yeah.
You can't hide it because there are always people like me who search for the truth and the facts. So I get a proper picture of history.
Yeah.
One that's been painted and paved by bloodthirsty maniacs. And we're all thinking we've conquered things. No, we haven't. We've slaughtered people, countries, to get to where we are as a country called the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
We've raped, pillaged, plundered the fucking planet as a country. The British Empire. Yeah, it's like how many countries? 79 countries are part of the British Commonwealth.
Some are wanting out now, but
the British Empire never stopped.
Yeah.
This is all a myth. It still goes on. We've still got kings and queens and these people from fairy tales that should belong in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Kings and queens who profess to have a divine right to rule.
Mm-hmm.
They know about these people vanishing.
Yeah.
But what can they do about it? Governments know. What can they do? How can a government react? It's not the government that's taking them. You get a lot of people saying, the government are using them or selling them. No, they're not. Don't be ridiculous. You wouldn't waste the time with it. But you've got to remember, when anybody attacks the government or the military or anything like that, they don't understand what they're talking about. Because these people and things are in place to protect them, because the very people who are giving the orders want to be protected. And they're, billionaires and stuff and all these superpowered people with money who run the planet, literally. It's not your puppet politicians. It's the people who are sat on yachts drinking wine and having a cheese and biscuit evening who decide what's happening with Israel. It's not the Israeli government. It's popes and bishops, who get together and drink a whiskey and have a cigar, while watching a pole dancer who decide what happens with Israel. It's the billionaires, the trillionaires who you never see on the news.
No.
These are the people who are saying, well, we want that country now. So we fabricate a war and we go in and take all the resources and we come out. Exactly what happened in Iraq. But no, they've got to make the general public believe that there's an enemy. I can tell you where the enemies are.
They've all been making a villain building.
I can tell you where the British enemy is. It's in London.
Right.
The big thing called the Palace.
Right.
That's where one of the enemies is. There's a big White House in America. The place called Washington. That's where another one of the enemies are. It's not these poor people in sandals in a desert.
Well, the FBI,
So what I'm trying to say is, it's not the government taking these people. The government know they're vanishing, but they can't do anything about it.
Higher power.
And if they were to tell you, it would send panic across the planet. So they can't tell you. It's just like they can't, people say they're keeping secrets. Of course they are. They got to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the general dithering idiot would just like start running, jumping off bridges, wouldn't they? These people.
Can't handle the truth.
Lemmings that we have,
Yeah.
People that just go to work 9 to 5 and just talk about how the weather is. These are drones to me.
Right.
I mean, no offence if you're one of the drones listening, hello. But I do believe that there's different sorts of people.
Yeah.
And drones are going missing.
Well,
there's no discrimination in the amount of people that go missing. It can be from the poorest to the wealthiest, to the stupidest, to the most intelligent. There's no discrimination. These people are just vanishing en masse every year, 2 million plus worldwide. You could walk out your door and just find yourself somewhere else, but to the rest of the world, you've vanished.
Right.
And none of these people come back.
Ever.
And you'd think if that many people had gone missing, they'd try and get back, if they could.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, without a doubt, wouldn't you?
So we'll leave your audience with this. If you have any idea where they're going, and something sensible, not let's just not be talking about aliens, shall we? Until we actually see an alien, let's just think of it as just high technology running amok in our skies. Yeah. But it's not the shall we say the UFO people that are doing this. This is something beyond conventional.
So any ideas, let us know.
Physics. It's almost as if they're being beamed up, just beamed out of existence. Like they disappear on Star Trek, they just vanish. They're beamed up to the ship. But nobody's seen anything like this. These people are just gone. Nobody ever sees anybody that literally vanish in front of them. I've not heard any reports of that.
No.
But the amount of people that vanish without a trace every year is staggering. The amount of children is absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's really, isn't it?
Those numbers are staggering. 465,000 people. Kids, children, in America, 465,000.
I mean, America's the big place, but that's a lot of people.
Yeah, Well, that's just kids. That's children.
Yeah. Yeah, there's millions and millions and millions.
I mean, it's almost like people are being farmed. We do the same thing with cattle. We'll put 100 cattle in a field, and every now and again, the cattle will vanish, and the other cattle are looking around going, "Where's Bob? He was there yesterday."
Where's he gone?
Yeah, do you understand what I mean? Until you've got one cow in the field, and then it's too late.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's find out where these people are going, shall we?
Yeah.
And if you have any ideas, just send your comments. Thanks for listening.
See ya.